Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the knowledge, gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black?
Can't you see we talking?
White?
Well. It is another Thursday morning. How is everybody doing out there?
It's been an interesting week.
Yes, it has. It's been a long week for some people.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a unusually long, but also a very weird week for me.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys caught this because I thought I shared this with you guys before, but I just learned something about how the new head of Paramount is wanting to move his company forward. And one of the things that he's wanting to do is something that I never thought I would ever see anybody attempt to do. He seems to be interested in restarting MTV for real.
Like back to its roots, MTV?
He is wanting to go back and start it up and have it become an impact contributor to culture. So it's looking like now I'm not for sure if they're going to go back to showing, music videos 24/7, but they're definitely going to go back to what they were doing before, considering that for those of us that actually were around when MTV started, there are still quite a few acts out there on the road releasing new material. For those that may not have kept up, as an example, while, there may be a lot of reports in the news about the two lead members of Hall & Oates having legal issues together, a lot of people may not know that they continue to release new material, new albums for years. Yeah. So if you haven't paid attention to Hall & Oates since the 80s, let me at least announce to you there are a lot of new albums by them that are out. And they're not the only ones. Duran Duran continues to put out new stuff. Even Aha reformed in 2000 and have put out new stuff. I mean, a lot of new albums, not just one or two, a lot of them, and including they did a special project that was a film and sort of their album to go with the film. But it's not
a concept
really the soundtrack. Yeah, they did a whole concept thing 2 years ago.
That's awesome.
And considering what's going on with the lead singer, this might be some of the last stuff they're able to do. So, but I mean, again, unfortunately, because MTV eventually just started becoming a place to just run nothing but ads, it seems like. You have a lot of acts who are doing a lot of things, and even with everything that we have going on, websites and
Mhm.
you can do different chats and X and all of that stuff. A lot of the information about what a lot of these acts are doing doesn't seem to
Mhm.
really get through, especially to the people who are of age to really pay out a lot of money to go see these things.
Mhm.
And so why not?
Right.
Why not restart MTV the proper way?
Well, yeah, and MTV took the idea of a music video,
Mhm.
and made it a thing, and now everybody does them. I mean, and then you had MTV, where coverage of music became mainstream, which
Mhm.
was, which is where you started to get the personalities behind the music much more up front. I mean, Cyndi Lauper was one of the big ones that I remember from that era, from the 80s when it first came out, you know,
Yeah.
and, know, and when you're talking about concept albums, Queensryche produced one of the ones that
Mhm.
I still remember, Operation Mindcrime, and that was in '88, I think. Empire, Mindcrime, and that's when, and they're still around too, you know.
And
So,
so this does a lot of good for a lot of different acts by
hmm
starting MTV again, or at
hmm
least making sure that they're going to be covering stuff within the zeitgeist, covering
hmm
acts and other things. I think they have a
right.
really good shot of being able to do it, especially if they also go with the
hmm
whole clothing branding thing, which they have. I mean, you've seen MTV T-shirts are still being sold,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah,
uh, but
yeah.
but what I've noticed is there are a lot of acts out there who could
hmm
really use some additional. Um, I want to say they could use a little bit of a boost in
Oh
letting
yeah,
everyone know that they're still out there performing dates. And maybe
yeah.
MTV, bringing back MTV is a good way to do that, at least for people our
Mhm.
age.
Well,
Because you're
yeah,
not going to
and
get somebody in their 20s, not
hmm
easily. But I mean,
hmm
you know, Cheap Trick still tours and still
yeah,
releases stuff. They still
yeah.
release stuff. And so there's a lot of acts that are still out there doing things. And it
hmm
would be very helpful to them, especially for those particular acts that end up having like a Las Vegas residency for a while, or they
hmm
may hit a couple dates here and there, or even decide to put out like
hmm
maybe a volume 2 of their greatest hits,
Yeah.
you know. So it's
Well,
weird,
mhm.
but it's what's going on.
Right. I think MTV would also. I mean, it's also one of those things that could very well give a lot of people, a lot of bands the boost they need, especially with the way the music industry is leaning into digital, because a lot of bands are struggling,
Yeah,
like the little independent bands that I love, especially my steampunk bands like Steam Powered Giraffe and Adme Park, you know,
yeah, yeah.
and I think something like that would be good for them. So, but yeah, um, so Keith, I hope you have the link to my list of '90s movies that I wanted to finish covering from our last, because I've got '98 and '99 here, and I don't know if you have the link.
Okay, I'm putting
Uh,
it on the private chat.
thank you. Yeah.
There you go.
Uh,
Cool beans.
so I said, yeah, Martin's still on it. All right, you still got access to that. I haven't updated
Yeah.
that, so.
Okay.
But yeah, this is my list. Not because '98 and '99, when you're talking about changes in the world at the time, this is where a lot of things, uh, a lot of stuff that's part of our current, worldview, are are part of that time frame, part of that
Mhm.
era. And I think that is where we start to see a lot of what we've been talking about up until now, kind of hitting its stride, hitting its turning point.
Yeah, and again, this is here we are
Mm-hmm.
with really a lot of stuff that was really cutting edge and kind of
Mm-hmm.
fantastical and
Oh yeah,
in a good way.
yeah.
98 and 99 was really just the end of the 90s pretty much signaled the last of I can't personally bring myself to call it a golden age of a way, but
Mm-hmm.
of a particular era. And with what was going on both in terms of film and television
Mm-hmm.
at that time, 99 was I think 99 was when Angel came out, which was the Buffy spinoff.
Oh yeah.
And
It's,
a show that obviously if you really enjoy it and found yourself lifting a lot of stories, then you're obviously a writer for Strange New Worlds. But zing, but it's the truth. But there's a lot of really good programs, both in terms of cultural impact and also in terms of entertainment value. This is pretty much getting into I think Blade was the year before, though. No. 98 was when Blade came out because
yeah, I was gonna say
because the year before was the year before was Steel and Batman and Robin.
Right.
Oh my God, Steel.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you that watched the recent Well Done program, Superman and Lois, yes, that's the same character. That's exactly it. Steel.
Right.
And when you do Steel right,
Mhm.
you get something like what you got in Superman and Lois.
Right.
When you do it not so right, you get something like what you saw in The Last Jet. Shaquille O'Neal's movie called Steel.
Yeah.
We're just
I mean,
better reading
yeah.
than The Last Jedi.
Oh,
Yeah.
Last Jedi that's a train wreck of its own. But let's get to 98. Let's talk about 98.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with the whole Armageddon versus Deep Impact. And I got to say, both those movies were kind of a train wreck upon themselves.
Right.
But I had more fun with Armageddon than I did with Deep Impact. Deep Impact just took itself way too seriously.
Way too seriously. Yeah.
And that ending sequence, it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. Frodo gets on his motorcycle and decides to go after the girl he loves and pretty much catches them when they get to the coast and is somehow able to get her back and ride back to the mid. Oh, God, that movie never made any sense. If you have no sense of distance.
Right. Yeah. Outrunning a tidal wave is, you're not.
If you have no sense of distance, being on a motorcycle, trying to go from, the eastern part of the country to the Midwest. Oh,
yeah. Having made that trip, I can tell you from Missouri to Florida is easily 18 hours.
Oh,
to the
I'm
coast.
yeah,
20
I made
hours,
that
23 hours. Yeah.
from Missouri to South Carolina. Come on.
Yeah,
You
no, I
know,
made
I
that
mean-
trip too. Oh God, made that trip. You don't do that without sleeping.
and or also the huge mountains. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, you're going through the Appalachian Mountains, man, and that first of all, that in and of itself should be enough to stop most tidal waves.
And again, it may seem like we're really picking on Deep Impact, but as I said before, Deep Impact deserves it because it took itself way too seriously. At least with Armageddon. Armageddon is a John Wayne movie made in the 90s.
Right,
Except
man. It's
you're
like
getting
John.
Bruce Willis instead of John Wayne, and that
Right.
ending just,
Right. Well, it had so many good lines.
yes,
I mean,
it was just dumb fun. It's dumb fun,
and it was a popcorn, entertaining popcorn action flick. You know.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Ben Affleck to this day will still joke about the movie. It's probably the worst movie he says easily of his career, but he takes it in stride.
Yeah. Well, you could tell they were having fun when they were doing that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least it looked like it. I mean, was it Steve Buscemi playing the genius who gets space dementia?
Oh man.
And
I love being the black sheep here. I really do. I always love being the black sheep because I like Armageddon. Yeah, but for what it is, popcorn. It's an excuse to eat popcorn.
Yeah.
But I really like Deep Impact. Of course, you have to give me license. I don't know. I don't know your geography the way you do. So I saw that. I have no idea how far apart were those locations. However, I still think that it was artificial drama make him run.
Oh yeah,
looking for her. You could have used drama afterwards by him trying to locate her after the fact.
Yeah. I mean, you so could have. I mean, it's so easy.
But it was too serious. I don't know, man. I think an asteroid hitting the Earth is serious enough.
Well, right. So where was the shelter supposed to be?
Missouri.
It was in Missouri. Okay, and he was going to what? New York?
No, it wasn't New York. He was headed. It was the coast, so it was like North or South Carolina or somewhere around there. I think is where he was going, and he made it from picking her up from her parents and bringing her back to Missouri in the time that.
I cannot believe you haven't figured this out. This time he used the eagle.
He used the eagles this time. Let's put it this way, Martin. To give you perspective, it is from Missouri to basically the Carolinas. If you just go on a straight line from Missouri, basically the Mason-Dixon line, it is farther than the entire. It is basically a little farther than the entire country of Venezuela.
Yeah, I was thinking that. My country is the size of one of your states. So.
No, Venezuela is bigger than any single U.S. state.
Yeah, it is. But Venezuela would cover several states to make up all of that. And so to cover that distance, plus it's not just going in a straight line. You can't go in a straight line because there are several mountains that we've had to basically tunnel through to create roads in order to get through. Or sometimes you can go around, and that's a long way of doing it.
Bucarabanzai did it.
Yeah. I mean, I have literally made the drive from St. Louis to the Carolinas when I was writing for New Babel Press. and we went to XCon down in South Carolina, and that took basically almost a full day, and that was with 2 people driving. You just, you are going, and then when you get to the Appalachians, there are no straight lines. There's no straight line that will get you directly to the coast.
Oh, he was in a bike.
Yeah, no. I mean, and no, it's
Look,
yeah, but I love the it was.
my brothers and I used to joke all the time.
Mhm.
We've been waiting for a black president, and the first black president we get, and this is what happens: meteor falling from the sky to destroy. I mean, come on, man! Hollywood,
Right?
really? I mean,
Right? I mean, yeah, and Morgan Freeman as a president,
yeah,
I mean,
he's good.
I would vote for him, and he had the right gravitas. Thing is Deep Impact. There are some things I enjoyed about it. I mean, one, it was very much, this is the human spirit, and Morgan Freeman as president, I would have voted for the man. I would, I mean, he was God. He just got demoted to president, but it's one of those things of it had some action, but it tried to be kind of believable.
Yeah,
drama movie.
It was a drama. Yeah,
I do think you can fun edit that movie and take out 80% of the story of the kid.
Mhm.
Leave it only to the point they submit the discovery of the object, and that's it. You don't need more about that. The kid doesn't have a real compelling story. The compelling story are the story of the astronauts and the reporter with her dad. So those are the stories of that movie.
Yeah. Well, and then you have Armageddon, which is let's send a bunch of redneck oil drillers into space in 2 weeks. I'm just going okay. But you've got you've got so much entertainment value out of that. I mean, Owen Wilson in space, too bad he spoilers, too bad he died on the way there.
Wow, look at you spoil that one.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it was what, 30 years old? Who cares?
Right? I know. Oh God, no. But yeah, in 98, I mean, yeah, you have a lot going on. Because this is also when, one of the biggest of Spielberg's movies, Saving Private Ryan, comes out in 98. And there was nothing to compare to it. It did not have a contemporary, at the time.
Well, I mean, the beginning of that movie is still one of the greatest beginnings for any film
ever.
I can't think of another movie, the beginning of any movie that can match
D-Day.
That. Yeah,
right.
Just watching D-Day. Well, I mean, when you can bring people who actually were there to tears, and to the point where they think that, Spielberg is a master. He will always be a master, and that just proves that there are just some people that have got it.
Right.
They have that ability to be able to just take you to places and show you things. And in this particular instance, that was just anybody that still had any ideas about war, a sort of glamorized look of it. Here it is in front of your face. This is it's just something to be in awe of.
Yeah, absolutely.
More than anything else. And to recognize and just give thanks to all those who just did that.
Again,
right?
Black Sheep here.
Wow.
Spielberg with me is hit and miss. This was a hit in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
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 But let's be honest, it's not of his mastery because I don't think he's mastered of anything of beyond luck. I would say that yes, if that shark had worked, he wouldn't have had a career.
You know what? Let me at least say this.
Wait. Let me finish with
I'll let you know.
Cyber Pride. Saving Private Ryan. I'm trying to English today. Badly. However, the best part of that movie is not Spielberg's. It's Captain Die.
Oh heck yes. But you know what? Captain Die is not someone who would give his time to anyone that he didn't think would be respectful and wouldn't be good. You know, it's a collab. Look, film is collaboration. I just mean that Spielberg is definitely someone who is a master at being able to set up the right angles and know exactly what you need to film to make the maximum amount of impact with what he's trying to do. I'm not saying everything he's ever done has been, you know, the greatest film ever made. But for those of you who missed it, ABC Network just ran the film that recently came out that some have mistaken for Indiana Jones. And having never watched it in the theater, I now can say without a doubt that there is a definitive difference when Spielberg is making one of those films and when someone else is making one of those films. And God, that was a waste of my time.
Well,
Right.
that happens with whichever director you think, because when Brian Singer, whatever you might think of him, when Brian Singer left X-Men 3 to do Superman, we ended up with 2 POS movies.
Yes,
because you could tell that wasn't the X-Men that we were being used to from those first 2 movies. You see the third one, you say, what the hell is that? And I'm sorry, Superman Returns is caca. I have nothing to say.
It's a different kind of movie. It's a different kind of movie.
It's a kind of movie.
And again, I liked the casting. I thought the story was a little slow, but they did a few things in that movie that at least were different than even things that I had seen with the Donner Superman films, which was kind of neat.
Making Superman a son of a gun homebreaker. That was completely
a bit of a stalker. Yeah. I just I can see what you mean though with that. I mean, the script wasn't perfect, but I liked it for what it was. Oh man,
you're more giving than I am.
Right?
You kill me sometimes, Martin.
I hope not.
I mean, there were moments. Yeah, there were moments in Superman Returns where Superman was just a wee bit creepy, which was a disservice to Brendan Routh.
Not to mention Superman. Oh my God, he broke a home. He broke up a home.
Superman or
Superman do that. What the hell? No.
Well, and for everything that's, Kevin Spacey, wherever, what do you feel about him as a person? He did capture the Gene Hackman version of Lex Luthor.
I would like to say about Kevin Spacey. In this channel, everybody loves Kevin Spacey. Whatever. We don't want to die. We love him.
But just seeing it's like Lois Lane, on Lex Luthor brushing his teeth, and him going, it's like, come on, say it. Superman, wrong. I mean, he knows how to do over the top,
Yes, he
but
does.
so yeah. And like I said, there were some entertaining parts about it. It was not the strongest Superman film, which again I think was a kind of a disservice to its cast.
Mhm.
But it's yeah. But one of the other ones that I thought was, I think, getting back to 99 or 98, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. The Truman Show, which
Oh,
while it was a comedy, oh my God, we got one of the better dramatic performances out of Jim Carrey.
second
I
best.
thought, yeah, I will say, I will not, you know, I don't know if that was his best or his second best, but this is where we start to see that Jim Carrey can do some serious stuff.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
well,
mhm,
Jim Carrey, Ed Harris, Laura Linney,
mhm,
character actor Noah Emmerich, who I have enjoyed in a lot of different movies. The
mhm,
Incredible Holland Taylor, because she's
mhm,
cool like that, and I
yeah,
enjoy everything she does. Peter Krause, and even let's see, it was Paul Giamatti, Harry Shearer, Philip Baker Hall. I
mhm.
mean, yeah, it was that entire movie was just crammed with talent, and
Oh yeah,
uh, for the story that they were trying to tell, it just you couldn't beat it. It was
yeah,
a
no
lot of
doubt.
fun, very strange, but
Well,
kind of
yeah, the scene where he stops the bus, where he just stands out there and puts his hand up in the bus, and that the look on his face, I was going, "Oh my God, I could see Jim Carrey playing Superman." Just for that moment, I could see him able to pull off a version of Superman. I would not
I
have liked
wouldn't
that,
go that far.
but he
well,
had
Nicholas Cage was almost Superman. I mean, we came
and
very close to getting that movie.
and
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 thank
I
God we dodged that bullet.
cannot, yeah, I cannot even see Nicolas Cage as Superman. I love a lot of his work. I cannot see that man playing off Superman. He does not have the presence for Superman.
Now,
I
Ben,
mean,
I
mhm,
don't know if you have seen this movie. It's from '92. It's called Doing Time on Maple Drive. That was the first time I saw Jim Carrey
Yeah,
doing real dramatic physical
dramatic.
movies.
Yeah, that was very well done.
And to me,
Yeah.
that is his best dramatic performance. Second
I have
would be
mhm,
would
with this.
be Truman Show, which I freaking love.
Yeah, no, I love the Truman Show. The story for the performance they got out of Jim Carrey in that one. That was amazing. And like I said, it was where we started to see that Carrey could really pull off good dramatic roles and still be funny without being as over the top as he was in
Yes.
things like The Mask, which was also him at his manic best.
Yeah.
You know,
Now
but mhm.
the spotlight of oh my god, the sunshine of the spotless mind.
Oh yes, okay, I know the one you're talking
That
about.
is one of my that is one of my favorite movies ever. And
Mhm,
once again, yes, he acted very dramatically in that,
mhm,
but the first two
mhm.
are for me. I think it's because that when I got to uh, Sunshine, I was already accustomed to see him drama, and
Right. Yeah.
that is why that would be my third one, because it's not the same impact of, oh my god, look what he's capable of doing, because you already know what he's capable of.
Yeah, and I had never seen the one that you mentioned, which now I'm going to have to go and find it and watch it. But yeah, this is where the greater public I think sees who Jim Carrey can be,
Yes.
which is really kind of cool.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, and then let's see, because I'm kind of all over the list here. Let's see.
Well, I mean,
okay. Mhm.
The next would have to be Rush Hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour, which starts a franchise with Jackie Chan and Chris Rock. You know, and that was
Yeah,
those
that's
two
what-
have such good chemistry together. You know,
Wait. Did you say Jackie Chan and Chris Rock?
I'm sorry, I probably
Chris
have the
Tucker.
name wrong.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say
His
Chris
last name
Tucker.
Chris Rock. No,
I was
not
thinking,
wrong.
did I
Yeah.
watch the wrong movie?
No, I got the wrong last name. It's a Chris. Come on, there are so many of them.
No. I'm sitting here going,
you're
wait a
thinking-
minute. What
No.
am I?
Think about it, Keith. In some another universe, it was Chris Rock.
Oh wow. Oh well.
So,
Maybe.
no,
This is the only one. It was Chris Tucker.
right.
It's all good.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Chris. Come on. Jackie Chan and that one Chris guy. But you know, and bear in mind, I mean, 98, Jackie Chan is, you know, kind of hitting, riding high, before a lot of the other craps come out about, that he's run into. And it's still stunt heavy, but they're giving him somebody to play off of that can work with Jackie Chan level of slapstick, because he can do, very few people can do martial arts slapstick like he can. Sammo Hung was one of the ones that I thought could do it almost as well.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, it starts a whole franchise, but it was a pretty good one on there. But it was not as memorable as some of the other ones that we saw.
Well,
So
but you also have to remember,
mhm.
that I think this was the first time I remember seeing Tom Wilkinson in a major role. I'm sure he'd been part of other films, but Tom Wilkinson, Griffin.
I know who Tom Wilkinson is, and I would say that he was in the bedroom precedes this one. I'm almost sure. I'm checking out.
Right.
Wilkinson. And dude, if you haven't seen in the bedroom, you don't know what a good slow burner is.
Right.
That is true. That is true.
Right. But I mean, we also get a very good, performance out of Elizabeth Pena. Because she, I loved her, love her character in it. But yeah, it went on to win a lot of awards, including a Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Award. For
That's
Chris,
true.
Chris Tucker nominated for that. Which, I mean, if you're getting Nickelodeon's nod on it, I mean, that's
And you were absolutely right, Keith. In the bedroom is from 2001.
So yeah.
I just don't remember seeing him before that. I'm pretty sure he's been in a lot of stuff, but this was the movie that I first remember thinking, "Oh, that guy," then I would see him later on, and next thing you know, he's popping up in several movies until eventually he's in Batman Begins, and that it's just
Mhm.
Oh, come on. What about the Full Monty?
Full Monty, of course,
Right. But yeah, it's and it was a, like I said, it was a solid, but it's mostly notable for the whole starting of the Rush Hour Classic there. But now another one I want to and I want to pull from deeper down the list. A Bug's Life and Ants both came out this year.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
Given that the protagonist was called Z, and the
Mhm.
thing ends in a C, is Ants or Ant C?
I always called it Ants.
Because we're talking about a movie about an ant that is
Mhm.
more individualistic than the others.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good play of words. You can say it could be ants or it could be the ant C.
Right. Well, I always went with I was just with ants, just because.
Yeah, everybody does that, but I always have that
Right.
intriguing question in my mind. How about
Right.
the intention was that one instead of the other one?
Right.
It has been played.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is that at the end of the day, Ants was still a Woody Allen vehicle.
Yep, and a good one. Better
Yeah.
if you ask, better than Bugs, if you ask me.
Wow.
But better than Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I have never been a big Woody Allen fan.
Oh, I won't hold that against you.
Simply because I don't know. Woody Allen always plays kind of is the term nebbish? Who always somehow miraculously gets the girl, and I'm like, but Bug's Life, I mean, I don't know. They were similar movies in
Yeah.
their,
But I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
A Bug's Life
Mm-hmm.
and Ants. Ants had a problem in so
Mm-hmm.
much as that A Bug's Life was kind of colorful with colorful characters that kind of matched,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot
Yeah.
of the way that those characters were sketched out were using
Mm-hmm.
they were based loosely on certain shapes and other things that should be around at the party anyway, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
you have what I mean to say is that Ants just all of it looked the same. If it wasn't for the fact that you had different actors playing certain parts, you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
really be able to tell the difference. Whereas A Bug's Life, you can. They went out of their way to design each of the bugs differently and gave them a different personality, and it was just easier to tell with that,
Right. Yeah, exactly. And with ants, it's ants versus ants, whereas Bug's Life, it's ants versus grasshoppers. And I think with A Bug's Life, it was easier to tell the characters apart. They were, like I said, they were more colorful. And it was just overall a very, I don't know. And bear in mind, I will make a difference between entertaining and artistic because there are two very, very different two very, very different things. Entertaining could be anything from Keystone Cops to to Die Hard. Artistic,
Ooh.
It sounds like I touched on something there. But it's I think of the two, yeah, A Bug's Life was more entertaining. And also Ants will suffer against my personal bias, where Woody Allen is concerned. But so like I said, it was one of those years where we did have two very different versions of the same kind of story being told.
Yeah. But I mean, but it was interesting, and it was interesting in so much as that you got a chance to really see why Pixar was Pixar. As their reputation grew.
Right.
For me, I would have to say that The X-Files Fight the Future was my big film of that year, 1998. Because they did it while, first and foremost, they did it while they were still in production for the series. They had to basically put together a film, an aesthetic that had to match what people who were becoming slow.
Right.
Yeah. And that would. It's just, it is so hard to make good movies. You can't just basically just sort of magically have one appear. But when you're doing it based on a television property and one that is still on the air, that's where you're running into problems. And the X-Files film, it was a film that, first of all, for those of you who followed the show, this was a movie that was just going to be all kinds of fun. And it was
okay.
It was an excellent movie made during a very difficult time, because what you're doing is they had to shoot the movie while they were on break, going from one season to another season. And basically what they did was they had to write the story. And since it takes a while for a movie to come out, you can film it and it's not out, the general public doesn't see it for a year. So what they did was they crafted the movie to come out after the following season of the show.
Between season 5 and 6, yeah.
So what they did was they wrote the movie and then created season 6 to lead up to the movie. So everybody that worked on it said it was one of the hardest things they'd ever done, because the show ended up staying on the air for another couple of years after that. And they swore they would never do something like that again, trying to make a movie while the television show is in production, even though instinctively one would think it makes a lot of sense because you've got everybody there.
Right.
But when you have a television series that has a really strong mythology and you're trying to create stuff, you can't just make a movie and put it out. It has to follow the logic of what you're trying to build. And unlike a lot of other TV shows, they actually put a lot of thought into it. The series, again, X-Files is one of those shows overall that the final 5 seasons of the show look phenomenal. Because of the high definition film technology that they brought to the show in its final few seasons. Just the way that Magnum PI in its final 3 seasons looks like it was shot yesterday.
Yeah.
Same thing with X-Files. You check out any episode of X-Files during its final 3 seasons, and it looked like it was shot yesterday.
Yeah, because they I mean, X-Files overall was a very good, well done series.
It was, but it wasn't. It visually, it had a particular look in its beginning because
Mhm.
of filming in Canada, and so when they were able to get the entire production moved to California, it changed the look of the show. They still
Right.
had to use certain things that were familiar to audiences at the beginning of the series run, but
Mhm.
it also expanded not only the kinds of stories they could tell, but
Mhm.
it expanded it also expanded their ability to be able to use certain actors. Both of the lead actors for
Mhm.
Breaking Bad would
Mhm.
eventually guest star on the X-Files within the final 3 seasons of the show.
Right. Yeah,
And oh, go ahead.
well, and that's something I think X-Files was known for is, well, not known for, but it did do well is, getting good guest stars.
Yeah. And they did a high definition episode
Mhm.
of the show. I think in season 6, and
Mhm.
that was the one where they it's the one episode that basically when you watch it now with the way our TVs are, it's the one
Mhm.
episode that actually stands out visually because it's an episode about it's a time travel episode. It's a
Mhm.
ghost story time travel episode on a boat about the Nazis. And it was very well. No, it was very well done.
Right. Well, I'm just saying things you don't expect to say in relation to a good episode.
Yeah, ghost story, boat,
Time travel,
Nazis.
Nazis.
Yeah, time travel and Nazis. But
Well,
that's
well.
Mhm.
We once had Angelus and Spike in a Nazi submarine, and that episode
yeah,
was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So, but then again, I mean, you're talking Angel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bear in mind that show made Muppets look cool.
Yeah, that was also a season
True.
5. That was a season 5 episode written by
Mhm.
somebody who oh man, it was the guy that created the Tick that
Okay.
wrote that episode. So he wrote, if I remember, that episode was called Smile Time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that
Yes.
episode was it was twisted, it was
Mhm.
dark, it was Sesame Street with a whole lot of darkness thrown in. And it's the
And
one
gore.
thing, and gore,
Yeah.
and it's the one
Yeah.
thing that a lot of the people who make Star Trek Strange New Worlds didn't understand, because they just thought, hey, let's replace
Mhm.
everybody with puppets, rather than trying to also
Mhm.
understand that it was a really well written episode that was actually meant to be
Mhm.
scary and a little off and dark, twisted,
Right.
very, very twisted.
Right.
It
Well,
just
and so it's
oh,
kind of
go
like
ahead.
Sesame Street meets Elm Street. It was at the intersection of
Oh,
Sesame Street and Elm
jeez.
Street.
Oh man. I mean,
Uh,
the thing about Angel that I think has to be understood is that while it was within the Buffy universe, it
Mhm.
had its own way of doing things.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that every season of that show,
Mhm.
you had like all of the different settings that they had for the show.
Mhm.
And I think they had 3 over the course of 5 years.
Mhm.
Major set pieces. You
Mhm.
had Angel Investigations.
Mhm.
You had the hotel,
Mhm.
and then you had Wolfram and Hart, and that was in its final season. So
Right.
the one that they were at the longest was the hotel, because
Yep.
they had Angel Investigations first, and then they blew it up.
Right.
And then they migrated to the hotel, which I thought was still probably one of the coolest sets ever for any television show at that time. The hotel was just, it was freaking cool.
Yeah.
And then and the episodes that they did for Angel during its entire run, you could tell from the types of episodes. It wasn't just like, hey, we're going to be scary and do scary stuff like Buffy. There's an obvious difference between both shows. You know, Buffy is a television show about a teenage girl in high school and her life and everything. And even though she eventually made it to college, it had that kind of look at things. But
Right.
Angel,
It was still a show about growing up.
that's right. Angel was a show about being on your own, about being in your 20s and on your own. You know, kind of like, hey, what's life for you as a young 20-something in college?
Yeah.
Or being on your own for the first time. And where Buffy is a young girl who feels the weight and responsibility of having to live up to, with great power comes great responsibility. Angel was the show about what if you had done something so incredibly bad that you could never, ever, ever be forgiven or forgive yourself for.
How do you come back to that?
Yeah, how do you go forward with that? You know, with your life after that.
Right.
And, both shows well written, but Angel is my favorite of the two shows. And it's unfortunate that a lot of the writers today, especially a lot of the Star Trek writers, just don't understand how well written those shows were. You know, you can definitely tell from what they slap together and try to call entertainment for how they create Star Trek now. You know, you can definitely tell that none of those people know what they're doing.
Right.
You know,
and this is where you have Angel, you know, and like I said, Angel managed to make Muppets look grim, and that's, you know, that's just damn good writing. You know, and but in '98, that's when Angel started, right? I think
Angel was 99, I think. Yeah, 99.
Okay,
99.
Okay, so we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. So all right. Because say in starts in 99.
Because I mean, in 98 we still had Spear. We had Dark City.
Yes.
Ooh, Dark City. Oh my god.
Dark City, which originates the headwubs. You know, the Dark City was so noir, but sci-fi, but conspiracy theory, but magic. I mean, it's like, what can we, how many things can we get into that?
It had a particular look and an incredible cast. I can respect that film. Now, is it one of my favorites? No. Didn't hate it, but I was not a big fan of it. You know.
Yeah. Well, we get to see Rufus Sewell.
You're breaking my heart, kid.
What? What did I do?
You didn't love Dark City, is what it is.
I'm sorry, I didn't like that movie that much. I mean, I didn't hate it.
In the wise word of Padme, you are walking down a path I cannot follow.
What do you mean? I'm not sitting here saying that.
There is no devil's advocate Ian Martin on this one.
Oh,
I am just look. Let me tell you this much. I think a lot of other films will be lucky to have the cast that this film have. Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, William Hurt, Richard O'Brien, come on, Richard O'Brien, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody? Richard
Right?
O'Brien, come on. Ian Richardson, come on. Bruce Spence, come on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
Melissa George.
Right. Well, I mean, when you get to Richard O'Brien, I mean, he wrote freaking Rocky Horror Picture Show. If he's on
Right.
something, I mean,
Well,
good God.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hadn't seen. Look, when Dark City came out, I have to at least admit this: it had been a long time since I'd seen Richard O'Brien. I hadn't seen him
True.
since Flash Gordon,
Right.
so I wondered where he'd gone off to, and next thing you know, he pops up in this movie. You know, but again, I'm also a big Jennifer Connelly fan because you know.
I wonder why.
Right.
She's an incredible actress, and also
yeah. Wait. We are at the half of the show, and we are crawling to this list. I for one, I propose. You are the leaders of the show. I just only put thing on screen. I propose we go through the entire list, no matter the time, because it's a good list. Ben, your list is awesome. I think you know that.
Well,
I haven't told you.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, then let me at least say, for the record, Batman Sub-Zero was the shiznick.
Yes. It was Batman. One of the animated series is one of the best ones we have. One of the best movies that we have out of that. And this year has some really good movies. And the one I'm going to highlight, I hope both of you can see it, is one of the ones we need to do last on that year. Because of the impact of that particular movie. But I mean, because I'm going to get two out of the way fast. Deep Rising, which was a cult classic, was one I don't think I ever actually got a chance to see, especially not in the theaters. But for its impact, I mean, I was going, yeah, we need to you kind of talk about that, because also Treat Williams and Famke Janssen,
this movie. I'm sorry, this movie, Hamilton, with Peter Stormer. Oh my goodness, very good, very hard to get, and this one. I think you missed this one in your list. Soldier with Kurt Russell. Don't care.
Yeah. I had to make choices. They were not easy choices. They were not all good choices. But yes, I left that one out of that one. Because it was kind of forgettable. It was a good movie. But looking at what it was competing against, I mean, this is a good year. A good year and a bad year. The other one,
to be honest, I prefer Soldier than Mask of Sorrow.
What? Okay, hold up. Wait. Hold up. I'm beginning to think you're taking pot shots at me.
Mask of Zorro, you're competing with Anthony Hopkins.
I don't care. I don't care. Zorro is Don Diego. I don't care. I'm not saying that I hate the movie. But it's not, to me, it's not Zorro. Zorro is Guy Williams. Zorro is Alain Delon. Yes, we had a Zorro played by a Frenchman. I know.
Hey, I'm not complaining. Alain Delon, yes. I enjoyed watching his Zorro film.
Zorro was my childhood hero number one.
Oh yeah. Well, and you can't grow up in South Texas without exposure to Zorro. It's he he is a Southwest hero.
Yes.
Especially when when Texas history is steeped in in the history of in Mexican history. And so yeah, I grew up idolizing Zorro. Part of the reason why I took up fencing in the SCA a long time ago.
Look at
So,
you.
oh yeah, no, dude, I have skills that are of absolutely no use in the 21st century. I mean, fencing, archery, heavy blade, lock picking.
Never know. You never know when a freaking solar flare is going to make you
Yeah.
look-
Right? Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, Mask of Zorro, I think I love the whole concept of just the way that they did it. I think that casting the original Zorro, teaching the new Zorro, to be Don Diego de la Vega,
I don't
the
know, man.
new
That movie is almost a Last Jedi, a bitter Zorro. Have you seen Don Diego? You don't
I
tell.
have
You cannot tell me Don Diego is gonna end up like that. No.
But I don't know, it's just it was a fun story. But
Yeah,
I think
it has a very good highlight,
right,
but it wasn't Zorro. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't.
right.
Now,
It's
Batman Beyond did that better.
mhm.
Yeah. I mean, look. First of all, it's a remake
Mhm.
or a reinterpretation of something that had already been made. I mean,
It's a reboot.
Yeah.
well, the reason why I coach it like that
origin
is
story.
because it's based on a story, and so what
Mhm.
you're actually remaking is the story, even though it had been done as a movie before, and I
Right.
think it's been done twice before.
Mhm.
So Zorro, look, it's just one of those characters that when you do them right, it works and it's magical and it's fun. When you do them wrong, well,
You
spend
get
the
the
way,
Mask
you
of
get your
Zorro.
chances. Yeah. Well, ouch. You're just not gonna let that go, dude.
No, I'm not.
All
I've
right.
been
So
grinding that axe for decades.
Oh my goodness.
okay, so Mask of Zorro, I think for you probably falls where Fallen falls for me. In that Fallen is part of my personal hate list.
Wow.
Yeah, Fallen commits the cardinal sin for me as a storyteller
Mhm.
of the unreliable narrator. In that the entire premise of the film is based on the narrator, which starts out sounding like Denzel Washington. Spoilers, by the way, and told almost entirely from Denzel Washington's point of view. At the end, the sudden twist, which means the twist of the knife, is that
are we going to give it away? Are we going to give it away?
I mean, it's been 27 years. If they don't know,
Did it yet? So,
I'm just that guy. I am that guy. I'm always
wait.
about keeping a little bit of suspense and hoping that people will find the
Right?
movie on their own and enjoy it for what they enjoy.
No,
Ben.
I will 100%. I will 100% spoil that shit because
Yeah, you hate it. Yes. Ben,
no one deserves that kind of
I
torture.
haven't seen it yet, but
Okay.
if you can avoid the spoiler, please avoid it. If the spoiler is essential to your rant, then go through it, man.
It is essential to the rant because the entire premise of the movie is that the director had to lie to the audience all the way through to preserve the twist.
Oh, that's not good.
Exactly, because it is told in Denzel Washington's voice, from Denzel Washington's character's point of view, all the way through. But then at the end, with no reason for it to have been told in that direction, it turns out it was the bad guy all along.
Well,
and he never, ever enters Denzel Washington's body. Denzel Washington, is not who he possesses at the end. It just all the way through, you're given that this is being told by this character that we're focusing on. And then at the end it tells, but no, it wasn't really him. I mean, it just
I get your frustration. I get it now.
It relies entirely on deceiving the audience from start to end, and it does not do what it's supposed to do, because you have sympathy for the main character, Denzel Washington's character, and then it turns out that, oh no, this is really my story all along. It's like, good God, WandaVision did it better. Every movie M. Night Shyamalan did after The Sixth Sense did it better. So this is why this falls on my personal hate list. The director lies to you from beginning to end and expects you to call him brilliant and genius. So yeah, if I the first power. Real Popcorn Geek, I am familiar with the title, but
I don't.
Well,
mhm.
Wow, we've gone from, hey, here are a bunch of movies, to Grudge Fest 1998.
Right?
I mean,
Okay, let's go.
This is my Kurtzman. This is my Kurtzman, man.
If we're really gonna play this out,
worlds.
if we're really gonna start playing out what our Kurtzmans are on this list, then let me jump all the way to Star Trek Insurrection, which is nothing more than a really bad episode done as a movie. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
movie, I'm with you there 100%.
I mean, oh geez, I can't believe I paid for that. I mean, it's just, oh man. But you know what? Whereas I thought, man, the people that made this are going to go to the bad place. And then I checked out Discovery and realized, no, there are a bunch of people waiting to jump in line that want to go to the bad place all on their own. And
right.
So,
and the worst part of it is this one was directed by Frakes.
I didn't mind it so much because I don't believe it's Frakes' directing that's at fault. It's the story. It's a television episode story.
It's a two-part.
As a movie. Yeah,
it's a two-part episode combined in one movie.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I mean,
and
still better than current track.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is way true.
But it doesn't quite have the. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was.
It's not at the quality level of a Star Trek movie. It's a TV movie.
Yeah.
Well, at least for the next generation, it's not at the quality level of what we expected for the next generations.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
absolutely, and not what I would come to expect from Frakes.
I still have it. I still watch it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what I would call Iron Fist good. So it's for what it is, it's all right. For what it's compared to, no, it's it's a hard fail. So another one I want to come up to is
I think we didn't pay enough attention to Deep Rising.
Deep Rising, it's I mean, you're fair. It's a cult classic for a reason.
Yes, and it was to be much more if they had go with the sequel, because that Gary let me know. Yes, he let me know not so many days ago that roar at the end in the
Mhm.
island, that's
Mhm.
freaking Kong.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So we could have so much more
Mhm.
fun after that, but you know, powers that
Right.
be.
Eh, what?
I mean, and it had a good cast.
Yeah.
It is
I mean,
very
it had a very good. I mean, Treat Williams. Treat Williams. He could do over the top and understated at the same time.
yeah.
you,
That
you
guy
know,
was
Ah, just I mean, he had that high pitched voice that you could both not take seriously but be scared of in the same minute. you know, and Famke Janssen. I just Famke Janssen is like that woman never seems to age. you know, I mean, it just. But and then Wes Studi,
and,
uh, you
and,
know,
and she
mm,
managed both smile I mean the sweet smile and the twisted smiles. She nails them.
yeah, yeah, and she can make them distinct enough that you know which one's happening.
Wow.
You know, um, and although Famke still has to compare to Michelle Pfeiffer crying and smiling at the same time. So in Batman Returns. But yeah, I mean, it is. I think I've seen it a couple times. I don't remember enough of it to do a very good analysis of it, but it was a cult classic of the time, and it deserves better attention. I mean, it was definitely a good film, you know. And I mean, true, and Treat Williams and Famke Janssen, they made an oddly good pairing,
Yeah.
in with that. But so one of the ones, and I may get a lot of hate for this, but vampires. Oh man. Let me make sure I'm not.
I haven't seen it yet.
Mhm.
I heard it was crap. But then I heard that the director's cut is
Mhm.
almost a whole different movie. So I'm
Um,
intrigued.
right? Yeah, and the thing is it was a John Carpenter movie, so it is an action movie from start to finish.
That's a good point.
It is 100% a John Carpenter movie. But it has a real popcorn geek. I'm with you there. It was entertaining. It had its own lore, and professional vampire hunters. These guys had that shit down. I took a lot of I take a lot of my vampire hunting for my books from that approach of let's be practical. Let's how do we get vampire? How do we hunt vampires? And it was like I said, it was a popcorn muncher of a movie. Wasn't deep, but it was dramatic. When the guy has to go, oh, my best friend is now a vampire. Oh, that is very cool on that effect. But now there are two that come up, both starting with the same letter, that are game changers. First of all, you have Pleasantville.
Yeah.
What?
Pleasantville.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know that one.
it's a good movie. It's a deep movie. Because it basically takes the whole oh Leave It to Beaver, I Love Lucy, that whole 50s mindset. And kind of turns it on its head.
Okay.
And basically, puts modern modern people into that world, and it just slowly transforms it. Because the whole thing about it is it starts in when the character arrives in a world that is black and white, and I can't remember, and slowly turns the world to color. And I think one of my favorite, the thing that sticks with me is William H. Macy's character coming home at one point and going, "Where's my dinner?" and starting this entire meltdown of all the males all the guys in the town of and we need to save Bob's dinner. And
Oh my God.
just like, yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, Tobey Maguire, it was a good vehicle for Toby. It was very good for him. But the other one's Practical Magic. I just loved the premise of that movie and the way that they carried that off. Sandra Bullock and first of all, I'm a big fan of Sandra Bullock's, just to
Who
begin
isn't?
with. Right? What human being is not, and Nicole Kidman, been a fan of hers forever. So yeah, that one was just game changing. But another one that I think needs to be brought to attention here is Smoke Signals. Because that was the first Native American produced film to reach a broad audience in America. Now, bear in mind, my family is Cherokee, so while I'm white as fuck, my mom was Cherokee, and I have a special place in my heart for anything that promotes Native American culture. And Smoke Signals was a big stride forward for Native American filmmakers. And it was, I think it was a good start for Native American filmmaking. Another one that I dug, oddly enough, was Ever After, which is which was for Drew Barrymore a very good entry. It was a good deep entry from her. I don't know if you were Keith, you or Martin are big fans of Drew Barrymore.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say I'm a big fan, but I
Mm-hmm.
tend to enjoy her work.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, and I'm going to get heat for this, but except for Charlie's Angels, I did not like any one of those movies because I liked the originals Charlie's Angels, and I found this ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I was not as big a fan of Charlie's Angels as I could have been. Definitely not as big a fan of that as I could have been. But I think this one was, because this one is on its biggest side. It was a telling of Cinderella, is what it was. And so but it was very well done. You know what I'm saying? It was, and it had its action moments, but it was done, it was done, I don't know, in a way that made it, I don't know. It was very well. Also, it had Angelica Houston in it, which I have had the crush on her for the longest time. So you have those two playing it. You have those two playing it, and and just the whole overall thing. I just loved that overall movie. Overall, and then, God, this year, of course, one of the ones we have not mentioned that has had a huge impact on, on pop culture is The Big Lebowski. I mean, Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, and just that's like, totally my opinion, man.
I was a late watcher of that one. I wait all the way until mid 2010 to finally watch it.
I, to this day, can never say I've actually fully seen that movie.
Oh,
I know so much about it. It's like oh God, it's like Bohemian Rhapsody. Nobody can tell you when they first saw it, and I could not tell you when I first. But everybody knows the lyrics. It's like a faith thing, and it just it has had such a strong impact on pop culture, and it all the way, even without seeing it, this film, parts of that film. And let's see what else is on here, because we're getting down to the last couple. Yeah, I think the only one that we
no, we still have, oh my God, Godzilla.
Gojira. Yeah, the Matthew Broderick version.
Not
Godzilla. Yeah.
Oh my God. I have a love-hate relationship with that. I mean, if I see it fully knowingly, even in the Godzilla canon, that is not Godzilla. That is just another kaiju. I like
right.
That's it. It has his failings, like bad comedy. Not all the comedy in the movie is bad, but it has bad comedy sometimes. But it has his good points.
Right.
There are many things that I liked it, and it's not and the kaiju is not Godzilla.
It's not.
I may interject that every now and then. The kaiju is not
no,
Godzilla, but it's
right. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I
what is Godzilla without radioactive fire breath?
Yeah, I like the way it moves. It's awesome. It's very well studied.
I think that they would have done well, to have taken, they would do well to take that movement style into future actual Godzilla movies.
No. Godzilla has to move the way it moves. Clunkily. That is his trademark. I don't know. They made in the last one, they made Godzilla like a gym bro. I don't have any problem with that, because in the first one he was Fatzilla. Now he's more fit, but still moves like Godzilla. Of course, Godzilla
stomping around like a guy in a rubber suit.
Godzilla -1. I had that. I don't like. I like when he's attacking, but when they made it work, and I understand they only had 15 million for effects. But when he's walking, it looks like a wind-up toy.
Oh yeah.
It moves like this. However, I still love Godzilla -1, and I'm gonna take. I'm not gonna take a bad comment about that movie. I won't.
Right.
I will fight you.
But, I will fight you on it.
Yeah.
No, I get that. No, I mean,
it has his things. Yes, I mean, like it.
Yeah. But the other one, for what it is, right? It's a monster movie. It's a kaiju movie. Yeah. It's not necessarily Godzilla, but it's a pretty good kaiju movie. Trying to figure out the bad guy and stuff like that. the scene where he steps right over the cameraman. The guy is like in between its toes. I'm just going,
And I like how they broke apart with the scientists, because on all these movies you always have the scientists. No, we have to preserve that creature that is most likely to kill us all because we don't
right.
have
We
the right.
must
Shut up. Here the scientist says he's the first one to say we have to kill that.
we have to kill. Yeah, yeah. This is a disruption to our eco-culture. Quite,
Yes. That
I
thing is
mean,
going to eat everything on the planet. We need to kill it.
right? Oh yeah, no, and it, it was, but yeah, it was definitely, and they actually, unlike in the other movies where they don't take the scientist seriously, they start him taking him seriously because of his studies, and I kind of like that. Kind of had a Daniel Jackson in Stargate vibe to, I'm doing this totally inconsequential thing. Nobody takes me seriously. To you're the only guy who knows about this shit. So, and again, we have a lot to cover, so I'm not giving any of these movies as much attention as they deserve. Another one I want to bring up: Halloween, age 20. At this point, the Halloween franchise is almost old enough to drink on its own. And I'm just here going, man. So yeah, that's a thing. But this is a one that would be, I think, fairly divisive. I don't know if anybody has mentioned it, but Lost in Space, the 98 version.
Yes. I freaking love it. I saw it this week, by the way. I got it because I finally got a 4K copy, and I said, I'm gonna enjoy this again.
Right?
I really like that movie. Even with the not so great music, the soundtrack could have been better.
Well, yeah, and it's not a memorable soundtrack, that's for sure.
No, it's not. But I love it. I love what they did with Dr. Smith. And even Dawn. The interaction between Dawn and Smith are chef kiss.
Right. Well, and it was, I mean, it was interesting seeing Matt LeBlanc not playing a character from Friends.
Yes.
Not playing Joey, I think. Because I was never a big fan of Friends, weirdly enough.
I never liked Friends.
Yeah, but seeing Matt LeBlanc in a kind of an action role was refreshing. It was kind of interesting seeing him play somebody who was not an idiot. But yeah, Dr. Smith. God. Gary Oldman just owns any movie he's in. So, but yeah, and it was a fun film. I liked what they did with the design. I liked what they did with Robot, and it was weird time travel shit. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it was overall, it was a fun movie. But then we get to the big one. The first, not the absolute first, but the one that kind of showed Marvel how it could be done.
Yeah. We're gonna collide here.
Huh? Well, I mean,
here. I like Blade.
I mean, and you don't have.
I found it so boring and contrived.
See, and Blade appealed to a certain aesthetic. I mean,
Deacon, I liked. I like the character of Deacon Frost.
right?
But
Um,
there was, I think, could have been much better. I
mhm,
remember I was at my job and it was they had the radio on and they were talking
mhm,
about uh, the movies that were being projected that week, and somebody and
mhm.
the radio guy says, "Well, and we have Blade, which is vampires with martial arts," and that's all I gotta say about it. And I say, "Oh, well, that's kind of reductive." Then I
Right?
saw the movie, and yes, this is vampire with martial arts. That's it. There's,
Well, but it actually there was so
don't look,
much more to it. Yeah,
don't
there was
look
so much more to
for
it.
a captivating story here. It's not.
No, it was. I mean, it was not. It was not very. I mean, as far as stories goes, it was not very deep, but the lore it brought out for that was more in depth than than it exposed. And for instance, I loved how like we see the world from Blade's point of view. Like all of the daylight scenes were oversaturated. They were very washed out, like too bright. You know what I'm saying? They had kind of the colors were kind of washed out by comparison to everything that happens at night. And it leaned into its own color scheme and aesthetic. And it just, it was hard and it was hard and gritty in certain areas, but yeah, it was stylized in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, and that's what
Tell you what,
yeah,
I'm gonna give it another try. I'm gonna watch. I'm not guarantee I'm gonna watch
mhm.
the whole trilogy, but at least I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
watch
you're
the
gonna
first
lose a
one.
lot. You're gonna lose a lot when you go to the whole trilogy.
Oh no, man!
Blade.
I saw the second one,
Mhm.
and when the third one came out, I said, I'm not watching. I'm not falling for this again.
Right. See, the second one, it had its point. I mean, you get to see a young, an up and coming Norman Reedus in the second one. Ron Perlman, you know, and trying to remember which character we see. Hang on a second, because we also get to see one of the actors from 13th Warrior.
Worst
And
Beowulf adaptation ever. I hate that movie.
I loved that movie. 13th Warrior was I loved Herger. But then again, I also looked at it as granted as it is a Beowulf interpretation, but also it's also on its own on its own it was for me not bad. What else was he in? God. But one of the actors was from Tony Curran. God, how could I miss that? Tony fucking Curran, just phenomenal actor. Wasted in that film, but
Everybody was waiting in that film, especially
yeah.
me and my money.
But yeah, so this brings us, and that covers pretty much. But Blade, the thing is that Blade's impact is one of the most important things about it. You take a marginally, a character that a lot of people don't know, and turn him into what is basically let Wesley Snipes get a hold of him, and it has its own cult following. It's one of Wesley Snipes' signature roles, and yeah, Blade Blade 3 Trinity. Yeah, don't waste your money on that. That's like Ryan. That's like Wesley Snipes' Green Lantern. So which is kind of funny because Ryan Reynolds was also in that movie. Yeah, but yeah, it's it just had an outsized impact for what it did, for what it was. But that takes us to 99. And 99 ends with a nuclear freaking explosion of movies. 13th Warrior comes out that year, which is where I first ran into Tony Curran. And I don't know, as a SCA buff, I was going, so many anachronisms, but still fun. It was still a fun movie. It just, I don't know, there's something about it that makes you I think the opening scenes when he's still in, when he first shows up, and seeing the Vikings, and that whole scene the first morning after, where all the Vikings are going with that dish of water. I'm just like, accurate, but man, it just, we see so many things that in 99 that are, I mean, God, we get one of the best Star Trek movies we've had in a long time, Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah. Arguably the best. Well, the third best. We have Wrath of Khan, the motion picture. Oh man, I can't. Number 3 for me is going to be First Con. So
yeah,
Galaxy Quest is the 4th best Star Trek movie.
Right. Yeah, Galaxy Quest anima. Yes. Ma'am, you have excellent taste. Galaxy Quest is because it's not just the best. It's not just a good Trek movie. It is a good. It's a good fandom movie. Because the fans play such a big role in the entire premise. I loved the premise, and of course, I love Tony Shalhoub.
Oh my God, he's the best. I mean, everybody's freaking out, and he's this is happening.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and it's because he's stoned the entire way through, man. So, it's just, he is stoned out of his gourd after a certain point. So yeah, he is just like the most chill dude. So like, what would you do? You're such a genius.
Group hug.
Let's bring it in. Yeah. I'm just like, and of course, he does the actual Kirk thing and bangs the alien chick. So, who I love that actress. It's just the way they did the whole thing with the aliens. It was a model this big. Just they. But I mean, Alan Rickman. Oh my God, he managed to make that character 2 types of things. Because one, it's Alan Rickman playing Leonard Nimoy, the character with outsized impact, and his own lore, but he's also every Shakespearean actor, who has ever found himself on a sitcom or doing something that is, he is a burned out version of Alan Tudyk.
I don't think Alan hates the thing that had put him on.
No, that's the thing though. Alan Tudyk went to Juilliard. He is far more talented than the roles that he picks up, and he takes them and he makes them incredible. I mean,
beginning
um,
with Sony. That well played
with what?
that Sony the android and
Oh, Sunny. Yes. Okay.
iRobot.
Yes.
Yeah,
And iRobot. Yes. Oh, yeah. Because I can never remember the bot's names. But Sunny. Oh, yes. iRobot. Yes. Oh man. Well, my first exposure to Alan Tudyk was in A Knight's Tale. And Gambit, yes, the animated Disney Tarzan went to American theaters in '99, and I don't know, I'm I'm not that I am Tarzan, yeah, not one of my favorite things. Love Edgar Rice Burroughs, but when you get to the animated version, yes, oh yes, Anima,
Greystock for
yeah,
me, definitive Tarzan on screen
I'm so,
Tarzan.
yeah. Um, I have never followed a lot of the Tarzan movies. Read the hell out of the books, but when I was a kid, and that's a long time ago. But yeah, Anima. Firefly is where I first got to know him. I enjoyed him in Knight's Tale, but yeah, Firefly is where he really kind of hit, and then everything ever since. Resident Alien, hearing him talk about how he created that character and how he characterized that guy was just hilarious. Everything he approaches, K2SO, in Rogue One, and later on in
Andor.
in Andor. Yeah, it just Alan Tudyk brings a lot of things to the roles that he does just because of the energy. I mean, Pirate Steve in Dodgeball, that's his role. That's his line the entire way through, just about. But yeah, I mean, but getting back to Galaxy Quest, Alan Rickman just made that role. He did what Leonard Nimoy did to he did to God, Tim Allen what what Nimoy did to Shatner. In making his character arguably the more memorable of them. But yeah, like I said, I love it was also a tribute to the fans, and kind of a send up, but it's still a tribute to the fans who keep a thing alive.
Yeah,
Who which we covered early on in the 70s. It was the fans that kept Star Trek alive. So yeah, but man, so many good movies that come out that year. Girl Interrupted. Oh my God. Never actually seen the whole thing. I couldn't actually sit through it, but damn the impact.
you should.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not an easy watch, I know, but
yeah, it
man,
is a hard
it's
watch. Oh
good.
man. But then we get, of course, American Pie, which is like a pop culture phenomenon. It's a series I've never watched. Um and and anime, yeah, Tim Allen really he got Shatner down. I mean, so um Gambit, I love that actually yourself, man. So just coming back and kicking through the comment, and Gambit actually is himself, and I love it. But yeah, where was I?
Uh, mm, we were finishing Gear Interrupted.
Yeah, Girl Interrupted, hard watch. Angelina Jolie did such a
Oh,
good job in that movie.
I'm sorry, I'm
Mhm,
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It was a movie that I hasn't seen yet, and it doesn't
mhm.
attract me. It's American Pie.
American Pie, yeah,
I have heard so much good things about it, but somewhat
right.
I don't feel compelled to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's pop culture, just pure. It's almost a parody of pop culture movies without actually being a direct parody. It's not it's not as, because it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's like if John Hughes had a um less introspective version of
Breakfast Club.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, Real Popcorn Geek, we're getting to those. I see your those. Oh man, 99. Like I said, nuclear explosion. I'm just getting the some of the smaller stuff. This is also where we see the world is not enough. Um, another Pierce Brosnan, James Bond, entry. Just you know,
Man,
uh, you know, Pierce did a good James Bond. I don't think he had very strong scripts to work with. You know, that one was not my favorite. Not my favorite of Pierce's. I think GoldenEye. He peaked in high school with GoldenEye, and everything after that was kind of, you know. But Die Another Day, not too bad. But then we get the Green Mile. Now, Green Mile is one I sat through and didn't think I could, and ended up just like, Tom Hanks and geez,
Michael.
remembering, Michael Clark Duncan. Oh geez, such good chemistry between those two, and just the whole cast. And
Everybody
just
was at
yeah.
their best in that movie. And man, that movie
Mhm.
crushes you.
Oh, it does. And
Oh.
it just it's. I mean, and it's you can't. I mean, it's one of those ones that could get its own episode. I mean, it's a Stephen King novel. Or a not a Stephen King novel. It's a Stephen King story.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, it just, man, it's Hanks and Duncan, if they were just incredible. It's a shame that it did not win in the Academy Awards that year. But Clark Duncan, did win, win Best Supporting through the Black Reel Awards, which entirely deserved more awards than he got. It won several awards, but it just People's Choice Award, the Saturn Awards, which to me are very, have the Academy of Science Fiction, so those are good. But yeah, it was such a good movie, and damn, and for as good a movie as it was, it did not have as many. Oh, RPG, we're getting to Sleepy Hollow.
RPG, oh my god, explosive popcorn.
Yeah. It doesn't have as many quotable lines as I would expect for a story that's good. And I think that is that's the strongest thing about it. And it was just, overall such a good movie. But yeah, then we get to Sleepy Hollow. And again, RPG, a Real Popcorn Geek, I have to agree. It was one of Depp's. I think it was. Gambit, you really need to see it. Just be prepared for.
A different take on.
Yes, definitely a different take. Gambit, it's Johnny Depp being at his best Johnny Deppness, but also kind of channeling a little bit of Edward Scissorhands, and of course, it's a Burton film, so it's going to have some of that. The music in it is eerie. Oh, and Christina Ricci in that is just
Ghostly. She's
ghost.
ghostly.
She manages to be ethereal but still so very present. Ray Park, doing the Headless Horseman, and then Christopher Walken being the
horseman.
the head, the Hessian. Yeah.
Oh my
God, yeah. And the fact that you can almost not tell the difference between those two. Sleepy Hollow has some very good visuals to it, has some very good and the funny thing is it can be over the top in places. And
it's Tim Burton.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton. So it fits. It fits so very much. Being anything after like September 1st in this house, we are like Halloween, like most people are with Christmas. September 1st, I mean, we already have the Halloween decorations up. And so, but yeah, it was Sleepy Hollow was such a good movie. Stand down, I stand up. Just like it is Johnny Depp, not quite being Johnny Depp, but all his Deppness. It's very good. But also in this year we got, so many good movies, and I know I missed a few because you guys are calling out, some of the ones that I missed. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, never seen it, but Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels from '98, Cruel Intentions. It just, a lot of good movies. The ones that on my list, and I tend to go backwards from the way I go to the most important, and I go down to the ones that are, but this is where we also get Dogma.
Yes.
Which is, Kevin Smith, I think at his best, just, the only movie that Smith did that I liked better than Dogma. And to this day, I still go, damn, it's one of those, it's on my personal love letters list, is Chasing Amy. Simply because it hits in the comic field, which is, my world, but also just, it's the, love letter to the one that got away and all that. But Dogma, Alanis Morissette's God was hilarious. Alan Rickman, I mean, he's got two good ones in this year. I mean, come on. Alan Rickman and Ben Affleck and jeez. Just the whole way through. Just one of Kevin Smith's good movies, better movies. And then now this one is kind of a cheat because it first came out in 1997 in Japan. But this is where we get the American release of Princess Mononoke. And that's one of those films, one of those anime films that to me feels like it has always been around, but I know that this was only in 97. It's just a super strong anime. It just, God, the impact it had on pop culture could not be, overstated. I've already hit now, one that hit,
I don't know about the impact of Mononoke.
Well, Princess Mononoke is one of the more, it's one of the ones that I think really got a lot of folks into anime. It's one of the ones I see, and a lot of people like, oh, you got this, it just, but it coming straight over from Japan, 2 years later, it's one of the ones that I hear so much about, and it's one I knew more about it before I saw it, and I couldn't tell you too much about the plot, but it's still still a damn good movie. We've already covered the 13th Warrior. We also have Pierce Brosnan in the Thomas Crown Affair, which him trying not to wear a tuxedo, because still the Bond franchise can never wear a tuxedo in a movie again.
Yeah, I think the solution was the tie. He has to
he had to take the tie off, right? Yeah. And folks have already brought up the Iron Giant, which, damn, I mean,
Mystery Man.
Mystery Man, yes, yeah. Oh God,
that was a fun movie.
It was a total send up of superhero movies. The whole thing between the big hero, and Casanova Frankenstein early on, where they've been doing this for so long. Can you take off the, it's almost like the characters in the midst of this are playing to a camera that only they can see. And then you have these this whole group of wannabe heroes schlepping their way through and having to beat the bad guy after, Janine Garofalo was fantastic in this. I think
she was the most legitimate of the bunch. Was
right? She was the one who had real powers, except for the Sphinx. And that's why are we mowing the watermelons on our feet? I didn't tell you to do that. The Sphinx was, it was a fun movie, and it kind of appealed to everybody who ever wanted to be a superhero. It's like, who would I be as a superhero? Oh yeah, Mystery Man was great. Now this one, the next one I want to look at is the Blair Witch Project. I do not like found footage films.
The Blair Witch Project made me not to like found footage films. It ruined it for me forever.
Right?
Loathe that movie. No,
and it's fair. That's fair.
I was rooting for the witch.
Right? Yeah, no,
I want all these buffos dead. Oh my god.
Stop! Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's camping and excursionism, and they seeing then doing everything wrong. Oh man, the part in which the girl wakes up and says, "Where's the map?" And the other guy, "Oh, I throw it away because we're lost anyway." I said that is the moment in which I kill him with a rock.
Right? Yeah, it's just like going, we're in a horror movie, but they forgot to hire a cameraman. So, we're the lowest budget horror movie ever. But it had an outsized impact. On its overall, overall bigger impact. So Real Popcorn Geek, we're gonna get End of Days.
Stigmata I like. I detest The General Daughter. That is one of my favorite books. And when I saw that John Travolta was going to be the main of the adaptation of one of my favorite books, oh my god, it was a hype. Fucking movie is shit.
You're right. Good book, man. Bad movie, and there's a reason General's Daughter did not make my list.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Inspector Gadget. good for what it was, but you know, and just looking at some of the entries from from the chat. I mean, yeah, that was now 8mm. Not I like most things Nicolas Cage. It was one, and Peter Stormare, and and just good film, just not my kind of film. So
when I knew it was about this snuff ring, I said,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right, right. Now, I saw somewhere somebody mentioned Wild Wild West.
Yes. That's an interesting case because to me,
Hmm.
it's a good vehicle to eat popcorn, and it makes me laugh genuinely.
Yeah,
I don't understand why so much hate. Yeah,
s-
it's not a great movie, but
right.
it's not that bad as people say. I mean,
So
when
Wild Wild West suffers in comparison to its source material.
yeah,
Is where we run into problems for Wild Wild West. Um, a lot of people didn't like that they made James West black, but I don't think that was its biggest problem. Um, the I think the biggest problem was that it was definitely a Will Smith, Kevin Kline vehicle, and I think that was what hurt it, because it was too much. It was too much about the stars and not
instead
enough.
of the characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and I mean, mm,
Yeah.
it's hard. Like I said, it was a fun film. And but I think Branagh as the bad guy. If they could have gotten Oldman.
Oh, but you want the baddest of the bad guys ever.
Oh God, yes. Nobody does villains like Oldman does, and
Oh well, walking.
even Walken has to take notes from Walken.
Did you?
See, Walken is like oh God, I had his name and suddenly it left. I have so many names in my head, so
Oh, like Pacino. There's so many names.
no, yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Oh,
Hey,
Malkovich.
Shen.
Walken is like Malkovich.
Yeah.
Their creepy factor comes from yeah, yeah, Shen, I gotta agree with you there. Shanetsky, yeah, I gotta agree with that with this. Yeah, cringe. Walken and Malkovich, both, it's their delivery that that makes them what they are. Gary Oldman just becomes unrecognizable when he picks up a role. Um, it just, yeah, it's um he would have been a better bad guy in Wild Wild West. So, but then we get Run Lola Run, which I love simply because it is what it's like four short movies in one, just a whole series of what if. you know and it
Mm.
was pretty daring for what it did, because it told the same sequence of events, basic sequence of events, just if she made different decisions, which it was pretty cool. um but yeah, so now we get to the big ones, the ones that I'm going to rave over.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm going to start with The Matrix. um And you could do an entire episode or two on the Matrix series and what it was. But just the impact it had ending the 20th century with this as, as a concept that hits, the Matrix turned Keanu Reeves from a star into a superstar.
Oh, and Will Smith passed on this to do Wild Wild West.
Right? Oh my God. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that and hey Dust Wolfen, just Will Smith passed on. Oh man. I gotta say, if I was Will Smith, I would have fired my agent if he didn't. So just God. The Matrix, and for what it was, and there's so much of that. I could not do anything less than a full episode on that and do it justice. Then we have The Sixth Sense. Oh geez.
Can you believe I haven't still seen that one?
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil that one for you if you
Everybody did it in the last 30 years. So
okay, so it's been 26 years. I mean, but I think M. Night Shyamalan's mistake was in trying to recreate the twist ending instead of just in other movies. Sixth Sense was so good. The Sixth Sense is the opposite end of Fallen. The Sixth Sense doesn't trick you. It tells you the truth all the way through.
You just don't see it.
You just don't see it. Yeah. You just don't see what you're not being told. And I mean, M. Night Shyamalan peaked with this one, and I think he's been trying to recreate that ever since. And I don't know.
I think Unbreakable is
I've got
pretty damn good movie.
So Unbreakable is a good superhero movie. And I could go on about that one because comics are my thing. I've been playing Marvel superheroes since the 80s. So, and Unbreakable deserves its own entry, its own. But Sixth Sense, you're right. It tells you everything you need to know, but it doesn't. It reveals itself. It doesn't tell you. It slowly reveals, which I think is the beauty of it, because you can go back and see that thing. Just I don't know. Gambit, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. It is a well done. I mean, he hadn't perfected it, but damn, he peaked on this one. He did really well on this one. And you're right. It's subtle. It does what it needs to do. Unbreakable, I think, was a better venture, but this is, for 99, it was very good. So we're gonna get to, and so second place for this one actually is third place, but first place has two films from a very good actor that I want to get into and dedicate to it, where it should be. So 99 sees the first new Star Wars full-on film we've seen since episode 6, The Phantom Menace. And Phantom Menace was one that I was working with my best friend at the time. And we skipped work to go get tickets. To get in line to go get tickets. And then we skipped work again to go see the premiere. and it was as an entry, it was pretty darn good. Liam Neeson, and Ewan McGregor. I just, this is where I, like I said, I knew of him from Train Spotting, but damn, this is where we start to see what a good action and, actor overall he was going to become. I mean, this is where we start to see lightsaber duels the way that they could have, that they were at their, we got to see Jedi at their peak. Geez. I mean,
I don't know if that was the peak, because they were their period of decadence was on set.
Yeah, I mean, they as an order, they were starting to fail. But as they had thousands of years of history to draw on for the powers and their abilities. We see, force runs. We see, Jedi at
which is my biggest gripe in the movie. And as I told, because my favorite Jedi ever is Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh yeah.
Number 2 is Luke. And I always said, if freaking Obi-Wan just has used the Force to run, Qui-Gon wouldn't have died. But no, he has to run at normal speed in the middle of a fight.
Right? Yeah. But I mean, plot hole. Yeah, definite plot hole. Qui-Gon was definitely one of my favorite. I mean, Qui-Gon was everything I thought a Jedi ought to be. Yeah. I mean, because they're in the middle of a fight, and and that second set of blast doors, he's fully carving, and they're in the middle of a fight, and the second set of blast doors come close when they're trying to get into the bridge. Early in the early part of the movie, and they get to that point. And the second set of blast doors, and Qui-Gon is just like, he doesn't panic. He doesn't, he just looks like this is an irritation.
Yeah. He never panics. He's overly calm. All the time, until Darth Maul kicks Obi-Wan from that way. That is the only moment in which he loses his cool.
He loses his shit. Yeah, you could tell. This is the thing is that you could tell there was obvious affection, for him, for Obi-Wan. But you also see the arrogance of the Jedi of that period. In the way he treated Jar Jar. Just because you talk doesn't mean you're sentient.
True. Let's be honest.
The way he treats droids. I mean, he low key was everything that was wrong with the Jedi Order, but also everything that could have been right with the Jedi Order. It just, that's one of the reasons he's one of my favorite. But also, when your actors, when Ewan McGregor and Ray Parks doing that duel, during the Duel of the Fates, so fast that they had to overclock the footage to slow it down, overcrank the footage to slow it down. I mean, I'm just going, damn, Ray Parks is the reason they didn't need a lot of special effects for those fights. I mean, he was just amazing. And then you pair him with a good actor like Ewan McGregor, who got into the role and just, granted, there are some underwhelming parts about it, but overall, it was what it was for me was a return to the Star Wars universe. Seeing Lucasfilm on there and then staying through the credits and hearing that, that Darth Vader breath at the end, kind of putting the putting the foreshadowing on this just great. It was overall, it was a pretty darn good movie. There's a lot of hate for the prequels. I get that, but it was a good return. Good return to that world. And I like I said,
Yeah,
I loved being back in that, getting that hype going on. But next, number one for 99 for me is actually two movies, and it's one actor, and that is Brendan freaking Fraser. I want to start with the second one, the one that's like the runner-up, and that's Blast from the Past. Brendan Fraser playing a guy from the 50s trying to figure out the 90s was just everything that's cool about Brendan Fraser. Just an overall good dude, trying to be a good guy. And it was a fun movie. It was Brendan Fraser being Brendan Fraser without having to jump around and punch things. Which was just, like I said, as a character piece, it was great. Just how to be a good, decent guy without being Woody Allen. But then it's competing with The Mummy, which, oh God, you cannot overstate the impact The Mummy had on an entire generation of people. It was.
I can. Try me. I can. As a friend of mine said, I that was interesting. I was because they, for some reason, in Venezuela, the Starship Trooper was playing at the same time of the Mummy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm getting into the cinema to see Starship Trooper, and out is coming out of in the same cinema. A friend of mine is just watching the Mummy, and I said, "So should I watch the Mummy?" He said, "The movie is good, but you cannot not compare it with Indiana Jones, and of course, he's going to lose."
Well, yeah, no, and the thing is the Mummy was not. You're not going to compare the Mummy favorably to Indiana Jones, simply because they are two different kinds of movies. Indiana Jones is, they're both archaeology movies, but The Mummy is an Egyptology movie. It is a celebration of, things Egyptian. The thing with The Mummy versus Indiana Jones is The Mummy is largely an ensemble cast. Harrison Ford carries every Indiana Jones movie. The Mummy, you have several people with that, and that's what makes it work. Because you have you have Brendan Fraser, playing Rick. You have Rachel Weisz, who, Rachel Weisz, who will make, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz will make a lot of people question their sexuality in that movie. And then, John Hannah, who is the absolute best comic foil, through that whole thing. Arnold Vosloo as the Mummy. Oh, just the man radiates menace, and without even speaking English, it just nails that. And then Oded Fehr.
Oh.
I mean, I was going, why do I have straight blonde or brownish hair when I could have that hair? I mean, oh my God, I will get face tattoos if it gets me that hair. I mean, God, it was just, and
Wait. I have
Mhm.
to address this one.
Hmm.
Well, Arnold Vosloo was too old to play Black Adam. That's the only thing. That's the
Yes,
only thing.
that is my only, yeah. He would have, if they could have got him in around 99,
Yes, and buff him up.
right? But what, he was pretty damn buff to begin with. I
Yeah, but
mean,
Black Adam is damn. I mean, you see the comics that Black Adam is
yeah, I think,
stacked.
yeah. Well, and I think that they kind of, that's, but I think he could have, even without being looking like The Rock, he could have pulled off Black Adam. He could have pulled off Black Adam. With more
I disagree, Gambit. I like that movie. I like Black Adam,
Mhm.
and I like the entire cast. I freaking like.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was nothing spectacular, but it was good for what it was.
Because it's fun, man.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people are taking superheroes the wrong way.
Mhm.
Superheroes are not Oscar material. What do you want in a superhero movie? You want
Mhm.
fun, and you want him. You want to see ridiculous power people ridiculously dressed, beating up ridiculous power people ridiculously dressed. That's it.
Right. You want to see over the top drama. You want to see superhero movies. I could do a whole thing on that. But I mean, you get so much out of The Mummy. You also get Eric Avari. I mean, Eric Avari, as he just was, the few scenes he has with Odette Fair, you can tell those two are related. The characters are related, and their chemistry is so perfect. Let me think about it. No, it was, Eric Avari just owned the scenes he was in, stole them from Rachel Weisz, Sons of the Pharaohs, but also Kevin J. O'Connor. Oh my God, Benny. His chemistry with Brendan Fraser was fantastic. Although I really can't think of anybody that Brendan Fraser that I've seen in films. I haven't seen all of his stuff. I can't think of anybody that he has not just clicked really well with. He's just one of those actors who can just immediately click with almost anybody that I've seen. But he played the villain comic relief. It's like, it's just the whole Sandball thing. I'm just like, it was great. I mean, and overall, just a good popcorn munching fun movie. I mean, am I going to compare it to Indiana Jones? No, because Indiana Jones is like the Phantom, and it aimed for a different level. They are different movies doing different things. But The Mummy, for those actors, was just, those roles were fantastic for them. They just owned the roles, and Rachel Weisz, that's Arnold Vosloo, Tree Rock. They were just, Rachel Weisz playing a drunk Evie. I am a librarian. It just, I don't know. This was a movie that kind of like Knight's Tale was, which kind of came together in spite of itself, but it's just, it was overall, it was a fun movie to watch. It had a great cast doing amazing things. And it just, and there were times when Brendan Fraser just improvising on set, thinking that they were going to have to redo the take, does things that they're going, no, wait, that, let's do that. Because there's a point where he's fighting the mummy, and Brendan Fraser admits to having watched too much Three Stooges, bearing in mind that Brendan Fraser is playing to an empty stage, with stuff that they're going to be adding in later, just does the Three Stooges eye poke and thinks, yes, just does the Three Stooges eye poke, and he's going, okay, they're going to want to redo that, and they're going, no, we're going to keep that, we like that. And it was, and I would love to have seen what he could have done with a little bit better technology and not having to completely pantomime everything. What he could have done with, something that he could have interacted with in green screen. So, but for what they did, it was pretty good. The second Mummy was pretty good, but this is the one that made me go, I like all of these people. I don't think there was a single role in that I could look at and go, no, that sucked. But yeah, I think that is the one that if I had to look at it and go, yeah, there are a lot of goods, Star Wars, pop culture wise, that was the big, the big thing of 99. But for me, the Mummy was the one that's going, yep, that's the one I'm going to watch again and again and again. It's the one that my wife and I will watch again and again and again. So yeah, it's, just that whole series, but definitely the Mummy. But yeah, so that's everything I have. But well, Truax, yeah, I mean, it's to address that. I don't know. There was a lot to what he did, but I think that was the whole idea, is that it was a little bit over the top. And of course, a lot of times he was acting against nothing, and having to play, but I think he did a lot of things that made him a fun hero to that. There were some things he did were problematic, but that's but yeah, he's and Real Popcorn Geek, I gotta agree, the third Mummy, once they replaced Rachel Weisz, and once they replaced Rachel Weisz, they lost a lot of the chemistry. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's where I think we're kind of hitting the end of it. We've covered everything, because after this we get to 2000, and we're getting to era where a lot of fans of the show have probably been around for that. So but yeah, I think the Mummy is where we start to see some of the Brendan Fraser hitting his stride as an actor, and starting to get better as an actor too. So anyways, I think we've covered everything. Yeah, that kind of wraps up the 90s, and yeah.
And yes, this is the end of this edition, KAMP Kit, on its first edition.
Right.
Next summer, we'll be back with this. Started with the 2000s. Oh my!
Right.
2000 to 2010.
Right. Oh my God. Oh. All right. Well. Okay, so I think we got everything. So yeah, so pack up your bags. Everybody, make sure your cabins are clean, because I think we're closing up Camp Keith, sending everybody home with a lot of good summer memories. So for Keith and Martin, I want to say thank you guys so much. And I love all your perspective. So just want to get a shout out for Anima. Thanks so much. Always glad to have you. Fenrir Howells, Read by Nature, Tree Rock Creations, Andy Morrow, Gambit 1987, and of course, Snortopoopas Q Burr, which I love that name. Tom Baker, Penny. We just, you guys, the reason that that we're here, we do this, and we appreciate you too much, and can't appreciate you enough, can't appreciate you too much. You guys have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week. So don't party too early. You still got the weekend to pace yourself. Okay. All right. We're going to call it good here. And Martin, roll that beautiful credit music.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Matt Damon.